We completed a list yesterday, so we'll be moving to set. Set is also like list. It is having most of the common features like list, but
Mm.
there are some differences when we are using set and the list. There are some differences. Let me discuss the
Yeah.
differences first.
Main thing we have to use only ID purpose. Something ID you have to store in that set because we avoid the duplicate values. I think.
Yeah, set will not allow any duplicates.
Yeah, and I use the set in main thing purpose only. I store IDs like that.
Yeah, yeah, we mostly, I mean, the IDs are unique values, so we need to use set in
Yeah,
case of IDs.
set.
So
Yeah. Mm.
let me discuss the properties of set. Set will not allow duplicates. As you said, set will not allow any duplicate. And in set also, memory is allocated dynamically. Dynamic memory allocation is possible in set because you are not defining the size in the beginning of
Okay.
defining set. Okay, in case of arrays, we need to define the size also when we are declaring the
Okay.
array. So dynamic memory allocation is possible, and it supports all the data types which are supported by the list. Like it supports primitive, primitive data types, subject data types, user defined, apex types. Okay, so primitive data types, subject data types, user defined. Yeah, these are the data types uh, supported by list. Is there anything I left? That's it.
Mm.
Right. Next,
Mm.
next, it won't maintain the order. Okay, so in case of list,
Mm.
whatever the elements we entered in the same order, the list will be storing the elements, but set will not store the elements in a proper order. So it is an unordered collection.
Good.
It is an unordered collection. You don't need to know all these things when you are working in real time, but in the interview purposes, people will be asking these kind of questions. What is the difference
Yes.
between list and set? So they'll
Yeah.
expect all these points. I mean, when you're working real time, you don't need to
Main thing.
do this much brief
Yeah.
detailed discussion. So
Main thing it is order or unorder, and then duplication is
yeah,
allowed or
duplication.
not. I think these two. I think.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, these are the main differences.
Mm.
Next, and one more thing is we cannot use get method. We cannot use
Ah,
get
get
method in case
method
of
in
set because
set.
we are not storing the elements in a proper order. So get is used to get an element which is stored at a proper index position. So as we are not storing the elements in the particular order, so we don't need to use get here. Okay, and
Okay.
what are the other differences?
Mm.
So yeah, um, yeah, that's it. I feel these are the main differences, but let me
Yes.
we'll discuss when we are dealing practically about this set. Okay, so
Sure.
go to developer
Sure.
console, open execute anonymous window. happening.
What is then lock lead to that? No, they lock 24 after is like okay, no need locks. I think yeah, after 24.
Yeah, that is what I'm trying to click OK, but it is not accepting it.
Okay, it's not accepted. Maybe open different browser. Uh,
What is this?
Someone else maybe did.
Otherwise, that is why I regularly close all the logs windows.
Mhm.
Actually, we need to close log windows immediately.
Okay.
Yes. Shit. No problem. I use some other login.
Otherwise, use my credentials.
Yeah, I'm using some other credentials here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So let me define the set first. Set string set name is equal to new set string. So this is something like very similar to list only.
This
Okay.
one.
Yeah. So um, as we have add function to add elements to the list, we have the same function here. Stname dot add take some countries India, stname dot add USA. So I'm trying to add these three elements to the set, and I wanted to print. I wanted to check the size first. System.debug the size of the set is what we can write here, stname dot size. And if you want to see the list of the elements in the set, system.debug the elements in the set are set name. Execute. Right. So these are the elements in the set. So let me fastly go through all the like all the methods available for the set. So stname dot yeah, we have seen the size. If you want to remove any element in the list in the set, then we have to use st dot remove, and in case of list we will be providing the index position, but here we don't have any index position, so we need to use the element. So I don't want to see USA. Okay, and after that I want to print the elements after removing the element from the set. Execute. USA is removed. Okay, next, if you want to remove all, we have stname dot clear. Okay, so it removes all the elements, and let me print the elements in the list after removing. We should get null. There are no elements in the list in the set. Okay, there are no elements in the set. Next, we also have add all. So what is add all? Okay, we can add either a set of elements or a list of elements to the set. Okay, so let me define a list here. List string lst is equal to new list string. Pass some parameters here itself. Okay, so some countries like Japan, Sri Lanka, Germany. I'm adding these three countries to the list. Okay, now I want to add this list to set. Let me check the elements in the list. System.debug the elements in list are, what you have to give here, lst. So just execute these two lines. See here, we got these three elements in the list. I want to add this list to set. How can I add? Stname dot add all and give the list name lst. That's it. Okay, so execute. We have a clear function at the end. Even then, okay, just remove this clear function, and after this we need to have a system.debug to see the elements present. Okay, here we need to have system.debug to see the output, no matter if it is here or nothing
Okay.
to worry. Okay, st dot, it will clear all the elements, but what happens against
Again, it add.
list elements will
Again,
be
it add
added.
all the elements.
Yeah, only list elements will be added. Okay,
Yeah, got it. Yeah, okay, okay.
expecting semicolon where, right. See here, the first system.debug is printing the elements in the list. After that we are defining a set and adding three elements to the set and printing the size of the set and the elements in the set. This is size of the set and elements in the set. Next, what we are doing, we are removing USA. Okay, USA is removed. Next, we are clearing. We are removing all the elements from the set and adding the list elements. Okay, only the list elements are added. Right.
Okay, but
Next,
it takes that last value equal to first one.
yeah, it
Last
won't
one.
maintain. It won't maintain the order.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Whatever the order we entered in case of list, it takes the same order. Japan, Sri Lanka, Germany. See here, the same order is printed, but it won't take the order. Set will not take the order. So that is the
Okay.
main difference between list and set. Okay,
Yeah.
so next we can see map. Let me define a basic map. Okay, so the map which you
Okay.
use in the real time is totally different, and here we are just going to define to understand the functionality of map. We are just going to
And
declare one map.
can you, okay, okay, can you tell me one example for list and set, like scenario, like objects,
Okay,
taking
sure. Okay,
just
yeah.
simple,
Okay,
simple object.
no, what exactly we use in the real time, I tell that only. List account
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
lst is equal to new list account. Okay, so I wanted to add multiple accounts in a single transaction. Okay,
Yeah.
so actually one insert
Mm,
statement can be used to insert one account record. Okay,
mm,
so let
mm.
me tell you that example first. Inserting a account record using Apex. Inserting a account record using Apex. Let me tell you one simple example to insert a
Okay.
account record.
Okay.
So first create the instance for the object. See, whenever you are uh, creating an object, by default Apex will generate a class for the object. Okay, so all the
Mm,
standard and custom objects in Salesforce are having a predefined class for them. Okay, so how we can call a
okay.
class, how we can create instance for a class. If suppose there is a class called my class, my class cls is equal to new my class. This is the way we create instance for the class
Okay.
or
Class name.
object, creating object for the class. Okay, so in the same way
Okay.
we can create the object for the the instance for the account object. Account ACC is equal to new
Mm-hmm.
account.
Yes.
Okay. ACC dot name is equal to give some test name. So I give date stamp test record 10/4/2016. This is the date stamp.
Mm-hmm.
ACC dot phone is equal to give all twos, right? So you can insert the record. Insert ACC. Execute these three lines using execute highlighted. Click on execute highlighted. Uh, Required fields missing. So
Yeah.
there are some
So
required fields. So we need to
yeah,
provide the required fields data also. ACC dot, what is the required field? Monthly income.
monthly income.
It is a custom object, that is why we are using underscore. Monthly income,
Custom field. Okay.
right? Okay. So you can't see anything on the output screen because we have not given any system.debug
Any
statements. Okay, but
yeah.
you can go to your account
Debug
object
list.
and
Okay. Here.
do we have the list view today's accounts? We don't have the list view today's accounts, but create a list view, create a new view,
Yeah. Today.
create a list view for today's
Mm.
accounts. Okay, so all accounts and filters. What we can put the filter, created date is equal to today.
It's up.
Yeah,
Up.
created date
Last modified.
equals today. Okay, so make it visible to all the users. Save. So only one record should be visible. See here, this is the record we created.
Mm. Yes.
From the backend, we inserted this record. Okay. So in the same way, if you want to insert some multiple records, say suppose you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to insert some 200 records. Okay. But Apex is having some limitations. See, we are using multi-tenancy architecture. The resources are shared among different users. Okay. So how many servers are there for the USA region? So do you know how to check the server instances?
Yeah.
Uh,
No.
we have this one, trust.salesforce.com.
Oh, okay.
Click on this.
Correct. 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 Trust. Yeah.
If you click on say
It
status,
said the sandbox and production
yeah.
maintenance. Yeah.
So these are all the sandbox and production servers. Okay. So for North American region, you have 48.
Oh,
Okay.
48.
Only 48, but there are thousands of companies which are using Salesforce. This indicates there is some
Mm.
maintenance. Green color
Maintenance.
indicates there is no problem to the server, but this color indicates there is some maintenance going on at that time, at that particular time to that server. Okay.
Yes.
See, these many servers are there for North America, and see Asia
North
Pacific
America.
only 4, 5 are there, and European Union
Yeah.
11. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe our
So very few servers
region
are
is
there, but there are more than thousands of clients who are using Salesforce. So we are using multi-tenancy architecture. So if you are trying to insert like suppose 200 records using 200 insert statements, you may be putting the server busy. So that may cause
uh,
delay issues to some other
mm,
client. So to avoid that, Salesforce is
mhm.
Salesforce is having some governor limits. Okay, it is providing governor limits to the users so that only 150 DML operations can be used in a single transaction. Okay, so if you want to
Okay.
insert multiple records, you need to bulkify. Okay, you need to
Mhm.
bulkify the records and then you can insert them. So we will see how to bulkify the records using list. So in one
Okay.
single insert operation I want to insert 200 records. How I can achieve that? We'll see that.
Mm. So okay.
This will be
It,
useful when you are writing a test class for a batch apex batch class.
uh,
When you are writing test
that
class for batch
yes.
class, you need to insert multiple accounts. List account
Mm-hmm.
lst is equal to new list account. Okay, so I defined my list, right? So next, for I am taking a for loop integer counter. I'm taking a counter. I am initiating the value to 0. Integer counter is equal to 0. Counter less than 200. Counter plus plus. Okay, right. So create instance for the object account acc is equal to new account. Acc dot name is equal to test record plus counter. Counter is the integer value. Acc dot we have a mandatory field monthly income. We need to give that value also is equal to this is the phone and acc dot monthly income is equal to some monthly income, right? So what I do here is I just add this element to the list.
This dot
Okay,
add.
yeah,
Okay.
lst dot
Add
add
ACC.
acc.
Yeah. We can give ID also. I think ACC dot ID. Suppose we have to give.
Now id will be created after inserting the element,
Yeah.
after inserting
Okay.
the
This
record.
is insert. Okay. Yeah.
So what I'm doing here is I'm inserting the list.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, see, just take one counter and repeat the counter value for 200 times, 0 to
Mm.
199. Okay, so
Mm. Yeah.
object instance is created, name, phone, monthly income. These values are stored and added to list. Okay,
Yes.
and again in the initial stage counter is 0. Okay, so the first initial
Okay.
stage the counter value is 0. Counter, the next is condition. So it
Okay.
checks whether the condition is satisfied or not. So the condition will be is satisfied and after that the counter value will be incremented. Okay, so as the condition is
Mm.
satisfied, the compiler enters the loop and it will see these things. Okay, so instance is created, name is provided, phone is provided, monthly income is provided, and these details are getting added to the list. Again, what happens? The counter is incremented and counter value
Mm.
became 1. Compiler will
Okay.
check whether this condition is satisfied or not.
That's fair or
Okay,
not. And then
and again
insert
counter
the.
is incremented. So again the
Yeah.
compiler, as the condition is satisfied, the compiler enters this loop. Okay, this will repeat for 200 times. Okay, so
200 times.
200 records will be inserted from test record 0 to test record 199.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how you can insert multiple records in a single attempt,
Yes.
right? Okay, let me check. There are no errors. If you refresh this page, you need to see because this is today's accounts list view.
Okay.
Refresh this. See, test record 0, 1. Okay. So 200 records are created.
after two. Yeah,
Okay.
count equal to 201 is yeah,
Sorry.
count. Yeah, the bottom count 201 is yeah, it's 200.
201 means in the beginning we inserted one record.
One record, correct.
Okay. So it is showing only 25. So if you see 200, then these are all the records we are inserted today. Okay.
Yeah,
Right. So this is how you have to use your bulk operations, especially when you are dealing with test classes. Okay. So this will be useful in the real time when you are dealing with batch apex test classes. Okay. So batch apex means, we need to insert multiple records.
correct.
Okay. So this is how you can do